What's up, guys? Got a slightly different video coming at you today. I thought I'd just do my best to try and explain, give some of my insight onto what odd event happened in South Korea today. I was really baffled by the political developments over there. One of my friends texted me a link showing that Yoon Suk-yeol had declared martial law, and wow, never really thought I'd see that. That was not on my bingo card this year. So, what I think happened, and I could be misinformed, my understanding is that Yoon Suk-yeol is leading the Conservative Party in South Korea, and he's been pretty unpopular for a variety of reasons. A lot of it's probably just a demographic problem. South Korea's extremely low birth rate is catching up with the economy, and he said made a couple interesting proposed solutions to said birth rate problem. I'll let you look them up. They're a little entertaining and sobering. And his party lost its majority in their legislature recently, so he was having trouble getting his proposed goals and political agenda and budget approved, while also being investigated for corruption. There was some scandal with his wife having some luxury item. I don't know if she stole it, or I don't really know what was up with all that. And I heard there might be some rumors about insider trading. And if that's the case, good on them for actually prosecuting people for that. But I think more or less what happened is Yoon Suk-yeol maybe felt like he had nothing left to lose. He was going to get convicted anyhow, so he decided to just go for it. He seems to have tried to stay in power militarily, so he declared martial law in the middle of the night in Korea local time. Super late at night. I definitely would have missed it. I would have been completely asleep by then. And claimed that the nation was under threat from North Korea and that his opponents were essentially communist sleeper cells that were trying to ruin democracy and overthrow it. So he sent what appears to be maybe special forces units or components of the armed forces to surround the legislature, because there's a catch within Korea's constitution, it seems. The president can declare martial law, theoretically, in an emergency. However, it needs to be approved and voted on by the legislature. And from what I can tell, since South Korea's legislature is dominated by the opposition party, he knew there was no way that they would vote to uphold that. So he sent the armed forces to try and prevent them from getting into the legislature building and voting against his move. But it seems that his attempted self-coup never really got 20 feet off the ground. A lot of South Korea's military is composed of conscripts who don't really want to be there. They just have to be there because of obligatory military service in Korea due to the lasting Korean War. And Yoon Suk-yeol is already very unpopular over there. So I imagine a lot of these soldiers were just kind of, what are we even doing? And then trying to pull off an authoritarian state in one of the most well-educated and most economically developed countries on earth. Good luck, man. In this day of social media, and not to mention South Korea's incredible public transit, which means people can get pretty much anywhere they want to protest, didn't really work out. And it seems that the opposition legislators were able to break in or fight past the soldiers to get in, and they voted saying they did not approve of the martial law, making it illegitimate. Whereas in previous times during the Cold War, Park Chung-hee and Chom Du-hwa were able to pull off martial law because they had installed government military loyalists into the legislature. So theirs had much more legitimacy to it, so to speak. And that's, again, that's probably the reason that Yoon Suk-yeol sent the armed forces to surround the building. But didn't really work. I think soon things will be back to normal, if, especially since Yoon Suk-yeol conceded within a few hours, saying he was ending the short-lived martial law over there. If he hadn't agreed or hadn't conceded to the legislature, then I would have been pretty concerned about what could possibly happen over there. But I imagine things will be back to normal soon. But it is pretty crazy how that changed so abruptly, and I guess it could be a concern that maybe North Korea could potentially try to exploit the situation, and then let's say that Yoon Suk-yeol even went full authoritarian over there and ended democracy. It would be pretty hard for the United States to justify its presence over there if South Korea were no longer democratic. That said, during the Cold War, we didn't really have a problem with that. When they were technically a military state, we were still there. But it seems that we've raised our standards since the end of the Cold War. Again, I don't really know what Yoon Suk-yeol was thinking here, but maybe there's a few lingering establishment old conservative politicians, or maybe military leaders who used to be part or have some connections to the old military government, and maybe they were just kind of gaslighting Yoon Suk-yeol and saying, hey, wouldn't it be nice if we could go back to the old days when we'd have to deal with these pesky, whiny liberals, and our economy was through the roof and everything was just great. Maybe some of those folks were chatting him up and tricked him into doing this, but